Last month, we generated 5,766 leads for our painting clients, and we work with over 30 painting clients every single month who pay us every single month to run their marketing. My name is Nate. I'm the founder of Fresh Coat Marketing. We're a marketing agency specifically focused on painting companies. And in this video, we're going to get into the $1 million painting company blueprint, exactly how to scale from $500K to $1 million while earning more and working less. Let's get into it. So you've hit the 500K kind of wall here. This slightly depends on the company, your setup, whether you're doing more commercial or residential. But typically it's around the 500K mark per year where you are super, super busy. You're still calling all your leads. You're managing the crews. Again, you're quoting, you're doing the estimates, you're running the business. And if you were to take 2 weeks off, 3 weeks off, the business would kind of come to a screeching halt. Everything kind of relies on you at this point. And that's not necessarily a problem. It's just something you need to be aware about. And 9 times out of 10, you didn't get to this point because you don't have a solid work ethic. You got here because you can work hard. That is, you've proven that to yourself. But now the next step is to get to $1 million. And there's plateaus in between those, but it's really your systems that you need to fix. And more specifically, your marketing systems that you need to fix to get to that $1 million mark. So the truth really about scaling past 500K, what doesn't work is hiring painters without any systems, okay? There's going to be turnover. You have to account for that. You have to be ready for that. And you have to have systems ready to go to dial in and get new painters on your crew, okay? Also, what doesn't work is just trying to work more hours after hours, okay? You already are busy. Most of you are awake at 7, finishing work maybe like 5 or 6. There's not that much time to put more into the business after hours, okay? And then you probably have some sort of marketing working for you. 9 times out of 10, that's referrals, meaning your clients are referring you, clients, and then word of mouth. You've been around, your city, your area for such a long time that you get just word of mouth leads now, okay? Also, everything too, you may have a CRM at this point. It's probably not used to the best of your ability. Some of you don't even have a CRM. And 9 times out of 10, your work ethic and your pricing has gotten you here, okay? Now, what's going to take you past 500K is setting up marketing and setting up automatic lead capture and follow-up, okay? You can't be following up with every single lead at this point in your business. It just doesn't make sense, okay? You also need to be strategic with your marketing. You can't just go in there and, try to just throw stuff at the wall, see what sticks, and that's just going to bottleneck your operations. And you just need to start with the proven system, the proven ads that can get leads right away, okay? We also need to make decisions on metrics, okay? We can't just be feeling stuff. Hey, I felt like it was a little bit slow last month in terms of leads, or our marketing needs to be better. Okay, well, what exactly, didn't hit the mark last month? Let's look at our KPI sheet, okay? You have to be making decisions off of clear data, and you have to build your systems, okay? This is typically the hardest part of making it from 500K to $1 million is you have to build every single, kind of system within your business. And, it's not something that's hasn't been done before. People who have scaled past $1 million have done this. So what you need to do is just put your head down, get organized, and start tackling one system a week, one system every 2 weeks. And within a few months, you should have every system up and running. And then at that point, you focus on fine tuning each system. Okay. And then another thing, we need to stop being the super cheap price commodity person. Okay. For some of you that have already gone past this, fantastic. But a lot of you guys are actually still trying to compete on price. Okay. And that just leads to the bottom, a race to the bottom. And when you're getting outbid by people who don't have insurance, they don't have a license, depending on the state you are. And it's positioning you just in the wrong way in clients' minds. Okay. So this is what doesn't work, and this is what actually is going to work to get you to $1 million. Now, The first step is we need to get some lead flow, and we need to automate this as much as possible. Okay. So we need to make sure that we have the tracking in place to capture every single lead that comes in through your business, whether that's the website, SEO, PPC, Facebook, whatever that is. We need to be able to track where that lead came from, and also put it into a place that can be routed. Okay, and this is your CRM typically. Now with us, if you end up wanting to engage with us and use our service, we provide you with the CRM because it's that critical to be able to understand where are your leads coming from. Now, once we understand where the leads are coming from, we need to be able to route those, right? So if you have maybe 2 people, 3 people doing estimates for you, the CRM will be able to have those people on there, and we can say, okay, round robin, Derek gets it first, and then Mike, and then whoever else, right? We also need to be having some kind of automation set up so that when someone submits the form or becomes a lead, let's say you're out doing an estimate, right? And some person becomes a lead. Well, you're not going to be able to get to that person maybe for an hour, 2 hours, maybe you forget, you remember, after dinner, you're like, oh shoot, let me get back to that person. That's not going to help you scale to $1 million. Okay. There's too many things that are going to fall through the cracks there. So you need to have the systems built so that any lead that comes in get an automatic text and an automatic email, and it sets them up for the next part of the sale. So if they come in after hours, guess what? We're going to send them a text that says, hey, thank you so much for submitting the form. Your contact us after hours. We're going to give you a call first thing in the morning. And that's going to set you apart. And that's the difference between a 500K or less painting business and $1 million painting business. Okay. It's not sexy, but it's the systems, and specifically the marketing systems, that need to be built out to get to that $1 million in production. Okay. And then, so what that's going to allow us to do is see where the leads came in, and allow us to see where are the leads in the process and how many have closed. And we could actually run numbers. Okay. At the end of the day, we're going to want a scorecard for each part of your business. And in general, when I say scorecard, I'm not talking about something like crazy. It's literally just tracking the metrics that matter. And in this case, for the lead flow and marketing side of the business, we need to track where the leads are coming from, how much it costs per lead for each platform, and how many of those turned into actual sales. Now, here's just an example from a company that one of our clients that uses us currently, GG Custom Painting. They had a lot of calls that were being missed. So it's one of those things where if you don't know they're being missed, you don't know they're there. And those are just leaky bucket. Doesn't matter how many new leads are coming in. If you have a leaky bucket of leads coming out, you're never going to get to that $1 million run rate. So it took us 1 week. We implemented our systems for the automation piece, and they were able to find that we had about 40% of leads that came in, and they were either after hours, they just didn't get contacted. So now, no matter what day and time it is, that person or that lead gets 100% contact rate, because every single time we're sending those automatic emails. Okay. So stop with the manual follow-up process. Stop thinking that you're going to be a superhero of your business. You're going to be there forever, always on point. That's not the case. You need to be real with yourself, and you need to, implement systems. So the next thing, we talked about getting automatic, lead capture, all that good stuff, because otherwise, if you turn on marketing, it's not going to do anything. And you don't know what's working. You don't know. It's just going to be a whole mess. Okay. So now what you need to look at is Google and Facebook. Okay. And you need to turn on ads that actually convert into leads. Okay. So the job of marketing is to get someone interested in your services. Okay. The sales part of your business is turning that lead into a sale. Okay. The more you pre-qualify, the harder and more money you need to go or spend on marketing, right? So if you want a super pre-qualified lead, it's going to cost you a couple $100 for a lead that's super pre-qualified, right? Now, if you want to get something that's more cost effective and focus on you actually selling the lead after, you need to go to Facebook and Google, and you need to run ads that are going to be qualifying people just enough so that they're qualified to have a conversation with you. And then you need to turn on your sales ability and turn these leads into estimates, and then those estimates into jobs. Okay. And the thing with Google, I can get into this in another video, but the thing with Google is you don't want to be advertising on keywords that just don't matter, or they're just not going to get you good leads. Okay. And same thing with Facebook. You can't expect to put 10 minutes of thought into a campaign. And, sometimes I feel like because you're advertising, like you're expected to generate the best leads. Like that's not the case at all. So you really have to put on your marketing hat, and you actually have to generate or create ads that actually convert. This is where it really helps to work with a company that works with painting companies, because painting services, they're not exactly, they're high ticket usually, at least a couple $1,000s. And a lot of the times it's not just something you decide from one day to the next. And so it's a very methodical, thing to do, right? So like you really have to take 2 steps back here when it comes to the Google and Facebook ads, and work with someone or get ads that convert, that convert. Okay, you need to stop wasting your spend on Yelp and Nextdoor and all these other ones, all these other platforms that they just don't work. Okay, so the main thing here is that you need to get Google and Facebook ads that actually convert. Okay. Now, just a little side note here, when you work with us or Fresh Coat Marketing, you do get approximately a 3x return on ad spend. Now we have clients that have done way, higher than that, but we want to be realistic for the average painting company. Typically we see about 159 increase in lead volume, but that's within the first 3 months. And then typically with those higher quality leads, we're seeing about a 40% higher close rate, right? So if you combine all those things together, you just get an injection of cash into the business, and you can take yourself from 500 to 600, 700, 800, 900, and then $1 million. Okay. Cool. Now, the next thing that you need. So just to recap, we talked about automating and capturing all the leads that come in. The second thing is getting your marketing dialed in. We need to increase those numbers from marketing. Okay. Now the next thing is a dashboard that you need. Okay. So this is what I was talking about, a little bit of the scorecard stuff. So you need to know your numbers every week, at least every 2 weeks. Okay. And you need to go and see this dashboard, which we can set up for you. How many calls did you receive? How many leads did you receive? What's the sources? How many estimates? How many jobs booked? And what's the revenue? Okay. Then you're able to see the ROI from a marketing perspective. And then you're able to make decisions, data-driven decisions on your painting company. Okay. Now, there's a lot that goes into this, but that's a gist of it. Okay. You need to be able to sit down and make decisions based off of data. Okay. But you need to have the clean data to understand that. Okay. Now, the next thing. So this is your path from 500K to $1 million. You need to set up and automate your lead flow so you can get instant follow-up and notifications. Okay. And then you need to intelligently route those. So if you have 3 estimators or 1 estimator, you're doing everything, make sure you're using Calendar. You need to set up this system with the lead flow. Okay. Then you need to run targeted ads. That's on Google and Facebook. No question about that. That's the best source of leads and the most scalable source of leads. Okay. And then you need to track the performance. So what does that mean? Is that you need to be able to have a dashboard, a scorecard, so that you understand the numbers from the previous week and then what we're going to do different for this week. Okay. That's going to give you the data to actually run your business and make decisions. Okay. Now, for example, let's say you are, you had a little bit of a slow week last week. Okay. So the number said that, let's say it was a little bit slow on Google. Perfect. Now this week, we're going to make a little bit of adjustment and raise that budget a little bit. Okay. So that is what's going to give you the confidence to be able to scale your business appropriately. Now, the last part is scale with confidence. So really what this comes down to is making sure that all these steps are followed. Okay. So set up your system so that you can automate your lead flow. So that way anyone comes in, gets a notification. You need to run those ads, and then you need to track the performance. Okay. And that's going to allow you to finish that system of, hey, how are we going to go from 500K to $1 million? Okay. Now these three systems really make up the marketing machine that you're going to need to basically run your business like clockwork, so that you're growing your business, working on the business, not just in the business. Okay. Now, if you guys are ready to break through, go from 500K to $1 million. You can continue watch free training on this channel. We're going to provide you everything that you need here to get from 500K to $1 million. So continue to watch all the videos here on the channel. If you guys are ready to work with someone like us who can help you break from 500 to $1 million, go ahead. There should be a link in the description below, and go ahead and click that link, submit the form. We'll get in contact with you, and then we'll show you how we can get you to $1 million there. So another thing just to keep in mind as the videos kind of coming to an end here. I think the longer that you're in business, the more you realize that the systems is really what carries the business day in and day out. And so I just want to make a strategic a strategic advice to you. So if you've gotten your business to 500K, that means you can sell. That means you can market. That means you can do all the different things that you need to do in the business. However, to get from 500 to a million is not the same thing, like I was mentioning. So you need to start thinking in systems, and this is exactly what you need to build your marketing system. Okay. Capture all the leads, make sure they're attributed, make sure they're going to the right places, make sure there's automatic follow-up, set up your ads so that you start to get an increase in lead flow from Google and Facebook, and then track the data in a dashboard so they can make decisions on your business to grow. Okay. That is how you're going to grow. All the stuff that is within that is the nitty-gritty of getting all these systems set up, so I will get into. So keep a lookout for videos dropping on the channel. I will get into each one of these things and how to set up like a system for that so that you can grow to $1 million. Okay. And if you just